Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans.
Hi.
If you're new, thank you so much for finding us and for joining us today.
Yes.
If you're returning, bless you.
Yes, bless your little heart.
Because we just watched the interview that Kristy Glass did with us at Woolyn. We're at I think the half-hour mark or so, a little bit before, probably between 20 and 25 minutes, because we were out there a little early. And
we were coming from work.
We were, and we tried to kill time, as you saw if you watched Vlogmas Day 1. We tried to kill time, but time just was not dying.
We had dinner out.
We did.
We walked around Atlantic Avenue.
And we tried to buy stuff at Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters.
Thank you. I have a migraine, just putting it out there, if all of a sudden my words don't sound like they should.
And the only reason we didn't go into Barney's was because I wanted to save some money for buying Christmas presents, and I didn't want to spend it all at Barney's. They had some gorgeous purses. Let me tell you, they had some gorgeous purses in the window. And then there was that one dress that I kept...
And also that psychedelic mushroom window was pretty great.
There's some great windows in Barney's on Atlantic Avenue.
But also, if you're looking for a fleece-lined leather jacket, or maybe fake leather, there's a bunch on sale at Urban Outfitters. They're a little bikery. They're a little bit,
definitely bikery.
They're definitely bikery, and they're not unfinished, but they don't have cuffs on
but they're
the
like
sleeves.
$65 plus tax.
I just couldn't get over the fact that there wasn't a cuff or a bottom, not hem.
She'd also just been telling me that I should keep her from using her charge card.
Yes, I did. So we managed to achieve that.
You want to try that?
Yes,
jacket
I will try on that
downstairs.
bomber jacket.
I have a bomber jacket
that is beautiful. It's brown, and I have loved it since I was a little girl.
It's an Andrew Mark, and I got it for sale, a deep sale, one March. I had to be a speaker at something in the city, and my friend and I got there early, as usual. And so I can't even remember the store we ducked into, but there was this Andrew Mark that was on sale. And I bought it, primarily because it fit and it was on sale. But, bomber jackets just aren't me. Just not me.
I mean, they're not exactly me either, but it's beautiful.
That's fine. It is beautiful, and it's lined, and it's gorgeous, and you are more than welcome to have it, because all it's doing is sitting in the closet. So anyway, I had come from Manhattan College. I had driven down.
I was so proud of her.
I am very intrepid with my phone and the GPS. Of course, it kept saying, you can do better if you get off onto Park Avenue. I'm going, I'm not leaving this highway. Are you kidding me? I looked at this on the map, and I can see right where I get off, and I know where the parking lot is. Not that Woolyn has a parking lot, but there is a parking lot at 38 State Street, which isn't very far.
No, it's like a 2 or 3 block walk.
That's
Not bad.
And
they're little Brooklyn blocks.
Right. And so that's where I had intended to park. And they did have room for me, so that was good. And it all worked out very well. So anyway, I got down there. Then I went into Woolyn and asked where would they suggest a good eating place. And they suggested Bear Burger.
Because I forgot that Bear Burger was only essentially just down the block from them.
It was great. I said, yes, that's fine. There were a couple others. We passed something in bottles.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is now.
But it was wine. It was something.
It's a wine and chicken place.
So we could
try that next time.
That. Yeah. Because Woolyn is definitely a place we want to go back to. They were very nice.
Yes.
Very, very, very nice. And in fact, I got this there. So in fact, I can tell you.
Beasts and Bottles.
Beasts and Bottles. So this is Knitted Wit Cotton Candy. And it's called Candy Bloom Where You're Planted. And I think it's bulky.
Yeah, that's pretty bulky.
I think it's bulky. Could be Erin, but I think it's
No,
bulky.
that's bulky.
I'm going to look it up. But excuse me.
No, the yard, it's 4 ounces to 65 yards. That's bulky.
So,
or even chunky. It's big wool.
Yes. So I'm going to flash you something. I'm working on a hat pattern. I'm hoping to get it done maybe by tomorrow. And then I can write it up, rip it out, and do it again from scratch. Only because I know I'm off So you can see there's going to be rays coming out. And I didn't evenly space the rays. So I will fix it. And then I will let you all know that the pattern is up. And I guess I'll have it in our Ravelry group or something like that.
To test knit or something?
To test knit, to do with what you want. Once I have it up, I'll keep it in our group for 2 weeks. And then I'll think about where it's going next. Depending on how much I like the hat and what you all comment on, I may just keep it for free. Or maybe put it up for $1, something like that. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like when I get it done. But I am using one of the skeins of wool that I got on Friday. So the event at Woolyn was on Friday.
So this all stemmed from us saying thank you for sticking with us since we just saw our interview with Kristy, and we're interesting to watch. I realize
a little scatty,
just a little bit, but it's okay. So yes, so that was at the Woolyn event, and as Mom said, she was there early. We then tried to kill some time after dinner. And then we were still there early, and we met a lovely woman outside as well, who also had been trying to kill time.
And there's just only so much you can do,
yeah.
You know, and you worked all day, and it's just time. And we weren't, weren't upset. I ended up sitting on the stoop. So
you saw on Instagram.
That's right. I was sitting on the stoop. I cast on a hat. In fact, this is the hat I cast on. So as I'm sitting on the stoop, I cast on this brim edge, and you can see that I used this knitted wit to make this hat.
It's really cute.
I like it. The pattern is Angel by Kay Jones of Bakery Bears. That is nice. A cute hat.
It's cute.
Too bad I'm giving it away. Darn.
You can make more.
I can make more because I know exactly what I did.
And you own the pattern.
Yes, and now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So
that's the hat I cast on. I finished it in a day.
So we went to Woolyn for the Indie Untangled pre-show party because this weekend there's been an Indie Untangled pop-up shop in Woolyn. So if you don't know, Indie Untangled is actually Lisa. I actually don't know her last name. I just know her as Lisa Indie Untangled, who's wonderful and lovely.
We met her first.
We met her
Knit
in Roslyn at the Cephalopod Yarns trunk show.
Yes,
which was like 3 months
years ago.
Well, it was 3 months before Cephalopod stopped dying. But yeah, that was like 3 or 4 years ago, and actually, she and I fought over what I think eventually then became my Cora. The Groton colorway. I have the red Traveler from Cephalopod.
So we've known.
We've known Lisa and seen her at different events for the last few years.
Yes.
And we always remember each other. And now that we're doing podcasting and she's doing the Indie Untangled, we see each other more often, and it's really great. We're actually so last year she was in the Felicia Lowe dyeing class with us, as was Rebecca, hold on, I'm going to look up her name, Rebecca Picoult, who actually now is Fuse Fibers.
So good.
So pretty. And she was inspired by that Felicia Lowe class. So we got there and we were like, it's a reunion.
I know.
But Lisa's going to be taking a class with us again next year.
That's right.
Or this coming year at Vogue Knitting Live.
Vogue Knitting Live. So.
And depending on some factors. Yes. And depending on some factors, we might be doing something with her on Saturday night. We'll let you all know.
Right.
If we are, but we have to wait and see till that weekend actually happens.
We have to work out some details.
But we're excited because that'll probably be co-hosted or co-done with her and Stephanie from Asylum Fibers.
Right.
Who we'll probably get to see next weekend. Because she's doing the trunk show over in Ford.
Right.
So Lisa's wonderful, and she also does the indie dyer show at Rhinebeck, which I know a lot of people have had problems with because of all the lack of space, and it was so crowded. Honestly, I understand your discontent and your frustration, but she's one person. And this is not what she does full time. Like, this is something she does out of her love of yarn and her love of introducing people to indie dyers. You know, letting people know that there are all these indie dyers. So I would say cut her some slack, because she is one person.
If you can.
And,
I mean, I know it was crowded, but
and I mean, 2 years ago when I went, it was hella crowded, and I got overwhelmed, but that's also what happens. I
mean, think about Rhinebeck itself.
Yeah. So I just want to put that out there. I know Rhinebeck was like a month and a half ago, but I've heard a few comments.
Or you've seen a few comments.
I've seen a few comments, and I've heard a few things on other podcasts, and because I know Lisa personally, or like in a more personal than just professional podcaster to indie Untangled kind of thing, it makes me feel for her, and it makes me feel very defensive, because I don't like hearing about my friends getting
trashed.
Not trashed, but just people don't seem to understand she's one person. And that she doesn't do this full time. And this isn't her full time thing.
Right.
But she's wonderful, and she was there because she's hosting it, obviously, with Woolyn. So there were a bunch of indie dyers. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly who, so I'm going to pull up
the list.
The photograph. Did I take it on my phone or your phone? I took it on your phone. Let me go to Woolyn, because they have it on their Instagram posts. Because I am super organized like this. So it's Color Craze Fiber, Fuse Fiber Studio, Groovy Hues Fiber, Lambstrings, Lambstrings, Old Rusted Chair, Pandia's Jewels, Swift Yarns, the Woolen Rabbit, Yoshi and Lucy, who's super sweet.
Yes.
And Yoshi and Lucy.
You said it twice.
I did, because I didn't realize that it repeated. After that, I thought there was one more person. I decided to correct my grammar.
Oh, okay.
For that sentence, yes. So we met Fuse Fiber, who we actually met and knew before she started dying. Groovy Hues, who is a hoot and a half. And actually, she mentioned in the interview also, or in the same video with Kristy, that she and the owner of a brewery out on the island in Holbrook are going to do a little, like, knit-in thing.
Oh, fun!
So, and she's going to have yarn, and so maybe when she posts more about that, maybe we'll go and check it out.
That would be fun. If we're home, yes.
Yeah, no, if we're home and all that. And then Julia of Pandia's Jewels was not there, but her yarn was, and it was beautiful. And Swift Yarns, I can't remember her first name. She had the teal and orange shawl.
Yes, really pretty.
Really beautiful. Everyone was super sweet.
Very nice. We had such a good time.
We went in and we got our stuff that we wanted.
We'll show you.
Yeah, we'll show you. And Mom then installed herself at the table in the back.
Lisa said sit
I know.
down.
Lisa told me I could put my book bag down. I did. Or my bag down.
Go ahead, sit in it.
I know. Did. And you did. But you installed yourself in the perfect... I was going to say, you picked the perfect spot to, chat with everyone.
I did.
Because then when Shamika came in, you saw her of Mika. Also
Hi,
here.
Mika.
She's wonderful. We love her dearly. And so Mom was sitting at the table and knitting, and everyone was asking about her sweater and what she was working on, and it was just lovely. And then I got enabled.
Yes.
So.
Watch out for Kristy Glass.
Yeah, don't do it. If she's near the yarn, or
walk away. Just
don't look at her Instagram either, because this is what happened. So you know that sweater she's knitting like 3 of? I think she's only knitting 2. It's called the Zweig. I will pull up. See? The Zweig. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I was talking to Groovy Hues and her friend Laura, and Laura was looking at yarn, and she picked out this beautiful skein from Yoshi and Lucy called Dark Magic. And I was like, oh, that's beautiful. So I grabbed one myself. And then
as one does.
I looked back at the bins and saw saw this color, and I said, oh, they need to be friends. This would be a beautiful Zweig. Because, of course, I need more sweaters. I do, actually, let's be real. So I only saw that there were 2 of them. I would need 3 of them to make the sweater. So I go and I tell Kristy this because I want to know how much yardage I need. So I ask her, I was like, oh, I think this will be a great combo. And she goes, oh, that's perfect. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness. And I was like, yeah, but I can't find a 3rd one. Because we looked it up and we figured out that that I need a 3rd one. And so we go and we ask. And I'm kind of helping because this is Lambstring and the ball bands kept coming off in the bin. So I was trying to find a ball band that had come off of one of my skeins, and then I was also trying to not do it to others, and there were some other loose ones, so I was trying to help. And then I was ending up making it worse, and I just walked away because I was like, I'm so sorry.
So I guess the deal is you really have to squeeze those things on.
Yeah. So then I'm walking back to Mom, and because Kristy was waiting with oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of the woman who owns Woolyn.
I don't know.
I feel so bad, but I will try and remember your name later. But she had gone back to check the back room to see if there was more of this yarn. So I then I circled back around and I was like, do we have, and I saw then, when I turned back around and the people parted, there were multiple skeins on the table. And if you saw Kristy's Instagram story, I'm pretty sure I'm on there squealing because she had my yarn. So I got enabled. I have another one of these down in the bag.
You have more than that.
No, I have only one more of these ravens in the bag. I only picked up 3 of them. I have 4 of them. So I'm going to untwist them. One of them is, but I'm going to untwist them and figure out which ones match best, and then the one that doesn't goes to Mom.
Right.
But I squealed, and I was like, you're an enabler. And she was like, I'm not buying yarn. And I was like, but you're making me buy yarn. And she goes, I'm not making you do it. And I was like, Kristy. And she was like, you should do it. I was like, yeah. So I'm going to be making a Zweig.
Kristy's trouble.
She is. But it's so pretty.
It's going to be gorgeous.
And I think it'll still be, honestly, I think all of my sweaters are work appropriate. So I think this will look really cute. The pattern says to do with positive ease. I'm debating doing some negative ease or just knitting true to size. Because I have a lot of things that have positive ease right now. And I just bought a pair of pants that are fantastic.
But have positive ease.
That have, they're wide leg. They're very retro, very... As when I sent my boyfriend a photo of them, he goes, are you sure those are pants?
Right.
Because they look kind of a skirt. But I'm okay with it.
They're very nicely fitted at the top.
And they're so comfy.
And they have a great pocket.
Oh, yes, you saw that I have an iPad now. I treated myself to one at Thanksgiving, which I probably told you all about, but I got it set up. I stuck this into one of the pockets. It did not fully fit, but it was in my pocket. It didn't
fall out.
It was in my pocket, y'all.
That Zweig is very pretty.
I know.
Very, very pretty. That'll be very nice. Caitlin Hunter, she was just interviewed on another podcast. For the fruity knitting podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so Kristy enabled me in that, and she's a horrible, horrible enabler. But it's going to be beautiful.
It will be.
And I'm debating. I'm thinking it might be what I cast on after Christmas. Or no, I don't know. We'll have to see. Because it's just so pretty. I have so many things that are just so pretty and I want done now. But I have this thing called Grandpa Sweaters.
Yeah, the ongoing saga.
Yeah. So what did you pick up, Mom? Besides your...
the hats?
Your hat yarn.
So I have, my goal is to knit total 6 hats before December 13th, which is when the School of Business has its end of term meeting. Because I have 6 people that I really should give gifts to. And so I decided on hats. So I started So I started that, and we'll talk about what's off our needles later, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned that I've got all these ideas. I mean, we've talked about the scarf that's sitting over there. Anyway, I was on a live podcast with Bakery Bears last weekend, and we were talking about Agatha Christie novels, and someone was typing in on their phone or something with there was an autocorrect.
Okay.
And Death on the Nile came out as Death on Your Ankle. And
oh my goodness, that's how you got inspired.
So
was
now,
this when I accidentally napped while we were watching it?
I'm not sure. I think you were still upstairs. So anyway,
I came downstairs.
Figured out exactly what that pattern's going to be. So I bought, let's see,
there, and then
the black.
Yep.
So this is going to combine as Death on Your Ankle sock, and my background color, main color, is this,
which is Swift Bliss sock, which is in the colorway Andromeda.
So perfect.
Oh my god, this is so smooshy. It's superwash merino, cashmere, and nylon. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
And my yarns that I got for my Zweig, the Lambstring Raven is the Tra-La-La, which is merino and nylon, and then this Yoshi and Lucy is her Brillante, which is merino, nylon, and stellina, both in fingering. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
Some Yoshi and Lucy, but it didn't fit in with
your plan.
My plan. So next time I see
her, I just love her logo. They're her kitties.
Oh,
that's Yoshi and that's Lucy.
Oh, it's lovely.
Sorry,
I went in intending to buy some, but I have this Death on Your Ankle thing going on.
So this is Swift Yarns.
Yes.
So then, what is this gray gonna be? This lavender-y gray. So this is a lavender gray. It's from Lambstrings, which I kept on calling lamb's wool because Lambstring was not happening in my brain apparently. It's Lambstring, and it's Tra-La-La sock, which is a merino nylon blend, and this is in Cobblestone Way, and this is the Woolen Rabbit, and it is on her sporty cashmere base, which is 75% merino, silk, and cashmere in chimney sweep. So this is a sport. It's a heavy fingering. It's a heavy sport-ish. It says it's only $250 though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, as long as
I don't
you know
need much of it.
Okay, so what are these guys going to be?
Well, they're going to be part of the figure.
Okay, so these are going to be part of Death.
Yes.
So then we have this is Luxadorna.
I know.
Which is 100% cashmere. This is the sport weight. Black. And this is in colorway number 657, Suit Up. Oh, it's glorious.
Isn't it?
It's glorious.
So, I mean,
so what is this going to be? Death's Sigh?
The Scythe.
The Scythe.
Yes.
So we have Death and his scythe. The background.
And fingers.
Oh my goodness, for around the scythe?
Yes.
So this is Northern Lights fiber in, I don't know what, Spring Street. No, Pale Maiden.
Yes.
Pale Maiden, which is 100% Falkland Islands wool, and it is in the colorway, I guess, Spring Street.
Mm-hmm. Which is the main street on Block Island. So yes, so
Look at that.
This...
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. That's going to be done after I finish this hat. I know it looks a hot mess at the moment, but I think if you look at this hat, which is all balled up, just because that's the way it goes, it's all balled up at the top, but it looks good on.
Yeah.
So I think that this hot mess will look good on too. And I'm hoping to get another 3 or 4 inches done so I can see whether or not I really like the way the hat's going. And if I do, then as I said, hopefully the pattern will be up for you all in the next week or two. I have 64 papers to grade.
Which I can't help with. I can help when you do exams, but not papers.
So anyway, I'm going to be grading those papers after we finish our podcast tonight. So yeah, all the papers came in. We're in the last week of classes. And you know, some of them are going to be really easy to read because they're going to be perfect. And I do get some perfect papers, and
You do. And then it's the B and below range that you were just
slogging. I go through and I make the grammatical corrections. I mean, it's a learning experience for the student, and I think it's really important
when I was in school, I really appreciated when my professors would give back the papers or a scanned copy of the papers that they did or that they graded and made note of a sentence structure problem or things like that, because sometimes when you're writing it, you're just writing it, and
you can't see the forest for the trees, you know.
And even if you read it aloud sometimes, because at work I still write, not papers, but I write technical documents, and so sometimes you still don't hear it when you read it aloud, so you have to have someone else read it. Why does it feel like it's inside out? It's not. Okay. So
I don't know.
And then I bought two more things.
That's all I bought there. I bought this, which I already talked about, and then I bought these to go into the design.
So I bought, these were not in the trunk show, but I have been...
our friend.
I have been loving on this specifically on Instagram for a while. So this is Asylum Fibers by Stephanie Jean. And it's her twisted base, and it's Under the Bridge, which is her woolen colorway. And this is Molly Girl, which is Bouncer, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And they're going to go together, and it's really great. They both glow under black light.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But they're going to go together, and I think I'm going to use them in an Exordium by Becca Picoult, because I was going to make a shawl that a friend of mine had that we saw, or Ashby actually, this shawl you had, but I looked on your Ravelry, and I'm pretty sure that takes 2 skeins of one of the colors. I don't have 2 skeins of one of the colors, so... Exordium by Rebecca, which is Fuse Fiber. She described this in the Kristy Glass Knits video, because she was wearing it at the party, and it was beautiful on her.
Yes, it was.
And I think it'll look really beautiful in this, because I need a Brooklyn shawl.
Everybody does.
Everyone does. So that was what I did damage with. I have my bag down next to me as per usual, so I'm leaning over trying to get everything out. So that was the damage that was done. Again, I think I do need to knit some sweaters next year. Next year might be the year of the sweater. Not the grandpa sweater, because this year was the year of the grandpa sweater.
Yes.
But,
and we tried my dad's sweater on, and I have to add...
Thanksgiving, yeah.
An inch to each of those sleeves. But since I finished what I'm wearing, I can go back and do that. So after I finish this hat, do you notice how many projects I've, started?
Yeah.
Yeah, about that. So, but I'm working on this hat in my lap. I guess you can tell, because I keep looking down. Sorry.
So... What else have you been just working on hats and?
Well, let me show the other hat I have.
Oh,
here.
yes.
So I have this hat, which is also based on the angel pattern, which is, I think, was $1.
Okay.
By Kay Jones. And so.
It's also cute. It's a good hat.
It's a great hat. So that's nice. Working on this. And I finished what I have on. So I'll stand up. Whoops. All right. So this is a double of a pattern by Tenno Knits, Michael Georgian. And I think he has a scarf or shawl that has this on it.
Or a similar one, yeah.
Something. Then what I did was I then created the formula for the sweater. I have this cable running down the center of the sleeve. Mm-hmm. On both sleeves. And then
she has a braid going around the back of the collar.
Like that.
Yeah.
But when I did my gauge swatch, I then measured me, and I think that, well, I think it knit up to the gauge swatch. I have come to realize that I like negative ease in my sweaters. I feel like I'm swimming in this thing, particularly the sleeves, because what I did was I knit in the sleeves.
Well, our fully fashioned shoulders class should help this too.
That should help a great deal, but I also know what I would do here. So what
rapidly pick up and then rapidly decrease.
No, you end up going, instead of starting just, you would pick up all the stitches, which is what I did. But then you go, the instructions said to go down about a third. I would go down a half.
Right.
And then do the short rows.
Right.
And I think that would draw it in. Because right now what I have are leg of mutton sleeves. So I'm going to make this again.
But you have some blouses that do that, but not...
I do. What I'm going to do with this sweater is I think I'm going to felt it a little bit. I think I'm going to just, whether I get out the potato masher or whether...
Why don't you try and put it through the wash first? Cause you
I did. This has been through the wash once. On cold.
Says the woman who keeps on being like, I felt my sweaters every time they go through the wash.
No, just recently. So this has been, it went through on cold. So next I'm going to put it through on warm.
Yeah, put it through on warm.
And if that doesn't do anything...
Well, and then put it in the dryer.
Yeah, that's what is a little nerve-wracking.
It's the same thing as the potato mashing.
Yeah, but I have a little bit more control over that.
I mean, I would put it in the dryer on the lowest, like on not the cold, but on the like warm setting, and put it on delicate. And
well, we'll see that, because we can do that right after the podcast.
Yeah. We still have time.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit this up again in some, a similar yarn. And isn't that what I got this for? Is this the sweater?
That's your other graffiti.
Right.
That's for your other graffiti. Or the other thing you're doing your graffiti in.
Right. Well, I've got a lot of yarn up here. This is not a problem. I can figure out another.
What did you do about that Amelia? The red. Did you have a solid plan for that?
No.
You could do that.
Oh my God, that would be gorgeous.
I know, I saw it when I was up here earlier.
So I'm going to take about 20 stitches.
I really enjoy when she tells me I'm brilliant.
So I'm going to take a total of 40 stitches out of the round. I originally had planned for 120 stitches for the front, and I put in 140 instead. So I think taking...
What is it? Sport weight?
It's Traveler, I think.
That might be your problem.
What do you mean?
You definitely, because that number of stitches sounds more like a thinner yarn number.
I did it according to the gauge swatch, but I like sweaters that are tighter.
You know what we also should probably get?
What?
To help with this, is what I'm saying. I don't remember the exact name, but the Knitmore girls, Jasmine talks about it all the time. It's and I think it might be an Ann Budd book. I don't know. But it has all kinds of recipes for different sized and different gauge
we should look that
objects.
up.
And she uses the sweater base a lot when she does all of her new color work sweater things.
It's a good idea.
Just so that we can get an idea of the general sweater construction. Or if you want, and when you want to branch out, it would be good to get for your socks too, so that
socks, I know what I'm going to cast, because I've made Umpty socks.
Do you know about with the color work and stuff, or is it going to be mosaic color work like you like?
It's going to be like the doctor's socks.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a small
the Charter
figure.
Socks?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a small figure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll look that up. I haven't figured out how to
make death as a mosaic. That's in my mind. That may be the second version of death. And these socks I'm envisioning as a Halloween sock. I mean, it sounds a little morbid, but everybody needs a decorated sock for Halloween. And I think this will be perfect. So anyway, I did finish the sweater. So that's a finished object. And so that means if for any of you who are in the Harry Potter knitting and crocheting club, that means I've successfully completed 10 of the 12 owls. I already know what sweater I'm going to be knitting for next term. I just have to pick the yarn out from behind.
What are you going to be knitting?
I'd have to go back into my queue.
Oh, okay.
But I'm doing the history of magic.
Okay.
Next semester, and I've already talked, back and forth in the group, because it says that you need to knit a school sweater,
right?
And I thought that meant it was like a Weasley sweater, something like that, but it's not. They said it could be anything as long as you make the case for it. So I had a sweater in my queue that's a pullover. It does have some buttons. And they said, well, that would work because that looks very 1920s and that could be a beau baton. Yeah. School sweater type of thing. I said, great. So apparently I was making the decision harder than it needed to be. And so that would be the spring. No, winter. And then spring would be a Muggle sweater.
Muggle studies? Yeah, which is just any sweater.
Well, it could be one of my sweaters. Yeah. So one of the 4 or 5 at that point. Yeah. So, that would be cool. So I did this. What else have I done?
I don't know, but I don't know if I showed. I don't think I showed you all because I finished this on Saturday.
That's right.
I finished the main color part of the Gramps for my dad's dad. I washed it, and I washed it a few times. I'm debating putting it through the washer.
A lot of dye came out.
A lot
of
dye
came out. This
came
thing was super
out.
saturated.
Well, and I understand why, and it's not a knock against Neighborhood at all, because it is an over dye, and it's 2 very dark colors, and that's very difficult to completely exhaust. But honestly, I don't think it lost any color.
I could
in terms of like the actual look of the sweater. I'm debating putting it through the washer and dryer before taking it home tonight. We'll see. Because I want to make sure that all of the dye has been released before I do the cuffs and hem. So I tried it on my dad to make sure that it wasn't like way too small. And once it was washed, it fit my dad really well, which is good because my dad is a bit smaller than my grandfather. So I tried it then on my grandfather when I went to lunch with him yesterday, and the sleeves are perfect. Absolutely perfect. So instead of the 2-inch cuff, we're getting an inch. And I'm probably then going to do an inch hem, so that I have as much yarn as possible for the collar and the button bands. They're not actually going to be button bands. They're going to be zipper bands. Well, zipper facings. So 2 years ago, we went to Mood, and I saw this heavy-duty parka zipper, and I realize now that it's a metal zipper, not a plastic one. And let me just make sure that it actually is gonna, like, fit in this sweater. So the teeth are a little bit darker than the gray of the
sweater?
that I'm going to be using on the sweater. Oh, it's a bit long.
Let me see.
It's like really long. So wait, where's the...
Oh.
Yeah, it's like really long.
Well, that can be
we can
cut.
shorten this.
Yes, that can be cut.
Yeah, it's like 6 inches too long.
That's not bad.
Except it's a separating zipper.
Right.
So we cut it off at the
down
top.
At the top.
Okay. So we'll just have to...
You cut it and then you whip it.
Okay.
You whip it so it can't come off.
Yeah. But it's super, super heavy duty, so he can't... So, you know...
Can't break
he can't break it. I feel like it might be slightly overkill, but... You don't know my grandfather. You don't know the man.
He has managed to break windows and backs of cars by slamming the back hatch.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit this in, and then I'm going to go back over it with the sewing machine.
Yeah.
And probably with a zigzag stitch or something, so I catch a stitch of the sweater in it as well. Go back over that. But so to knit it in, you puncture holes in the side at your row gauge. So you put the zipper next to the sweater and you poke it, and then you can knit it in like you would be knitting or doing like a 3-needle bind off or something like that, or just picking up and knitting. So I think I'm going to do it that way, and then I'm going to sew the damn thing in too, because I really don't want him to ruin it, like to pull the zipper out of it. So either he pulls the entire sweater off of himself, or he somehow ruins the metal parka zipper. Which is unlikely, but possible. Yes. But it's done, and it fits, and I'm so glad. So glad. And
the last time you tell your father what you're doing for anybody.
Oh, yeah. Totally. But, yeah. So, good to go. I'm going to keep working on my other grandfather's Reverb first. Just because this grandfather lives nearby, so I can give it to him. I can even give it to him at New Year's instead of Christmas.
It's going to be here at New Year's.
But I will, if nothing else, I will get the hem and the cuffs done. Mm-hmm. So that, because they're going to have matching sweaters. I'm totally going to take a photo of them at Christmas with their matching sweaters. My boyfriend thinks that they're going to be embarrassed by this. I think Earl is going to think it's the greatest thing in the world. And my other grandfather won't care because he's getting 2 sweaters for Christmas.
Yeah, he just loves knitted sweaters.
And I think Eleanor will just be like, oh, isn't that sweet? Which is my grandmother. So that's done. Only a year late. And so I've also been working on my other grandfather's Reverb. Look at that cable. Look at those cables.
That's gorgeous.
Just look at them. I know it's in dark yarn, and I know you're not supposed to do cables on dark yarn. I don't care. It's so gloriously Grandpa. It's wonderful.
Yes, he's going to love it.
He's going to love it. Nan's going to be so excited to have more sweaters for him.
Yes.
So I've been working on that. I kind of put my sock on hold because I need to get Christmas done. And then I need to get some baby sweaters done. And then my Mary Poppins hat has been living in my purse. So this has been my purse knitting. I know. It is very pretty. It's Rainbow Trout. The pattern is. And it's Shimma by Nerd Girl, and one of the random fandom colors. It's very pretty. It's been my subway knitting this week, because I decided that I wanted this hat, to be able to wear and maybe make some mitts out of the yarn as well. So the sock kind of went on the back burner, and now I'm trying to get this sweater moving. I'm an inch from the sleeve separation, but I think this will go it's been going pretty quickly, and I took it to, we had a workshop for my project on Friday, and I got there early. I was shocked. I was the first one there. So I, get my water. I also stopped at Starbucks, and I didn't even order ahead. Like, I stopped at Starbucks, waited in the line, ordered my drink, and I was still the first one there.
Where was the meeting?
46th and 3rd?
Not in the office.
Not in the office, but it was at 8:30. But, half of the group didn't, and it wasn't all my team, from my company. It was the other people on the team from other companies. Mm-hmm. And my team was all there by about 8:30. But we still had stragglers coming. I was like, guys.
What?
We said it was 8:30. Come on now. But whatever. So I got some knitting done. I absolutely shocked some of the engineers who were like, you're sitting there not looking at it. I'm like, no, I don't have to.
I can just feel it.
I know what it feels like. Unfortunately, during that meeting, or during that pre-meeting, eat breakfast and, chat, I poked a hole in my finger.
Yeah.
So I took off the Band-Aid because I think it's healed yet. Like, I used to be able to open, I don't know if you can see the 2 little marks on my fingertip there. So the top one is a little hole that didn't actually become a hole. And the bottom one was a hole. Like, I could hold my pull my finger and you could see in between the ridges of your fingerprint. But I can't do that anymore, so obviously the Band-Aid helped. Also, it's so much easier to knit when you do it to your pointer finger than when you do it to your thumb. I can't knit with a Band-Aid on my thumb.
No.
But I can do it with a Band-Aid on my pointer finger.
Yes. And
things you learn.
You know those Band-Aids that I like.
Yeah, but even those I can't knit with on my thumb. It's weird. I don't know.
I don't usually poke a hole in my thumb.
Purling I do.
Oh.
Purling I do. So that was interesting. And I've completely shocked all of my coworkers, which is so much fun. I take pleasure in it. What can I say? I like being a little surprising sometimes.
It's always good.
It is. So that's what I've been working on. Oh, meant to tell you about this. So we got goodie bags at the little at the event,
the Woolyn shop
at Woolyn, and it comes with a little vial which you can then keep your stitch markers in.
Woohoo!
And so these are Knit Spin Quilt stitch markers. It's two stitch markers and a progress keeper. They're by Alyssa Beer, who was also there. She was the taller woman. Yeah, and she also makes project bags, and I have two of her project bags.
Nice.
Well,
we just had a lovely time. We
did, and it was so wonderful. I had other things I wanted to talk about.
That you
Yes. So, as I said, I'm looking at my iPad as well because I have things brought up on it. So, I need to I'm making a hat for someone for Christmas.
Well, and I'm going to make several hats like me. Well,
yes. So this is one of the yarns I'm going to use, and I'm really excited about it. It's really lovely. This is Nerd Girl Yarns. I think this is 8-bit worsted. 8-bit worsted, which in the Nerd Girl Yarns group we call 16-bit because it's thicker than 8, because there's an 8-bit sport. And the reason it's called 8-bit worsted and not actually 16-bit is because it's still 8-ply. And it's smooshy and it's glorious. Yeah, I love it. It's what I actually made my best friend's wedding party mitts out of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at hats to do in that pattern. And I first was drawn to the Timber Bay.
That's a nice one.
By Melissa Shashwari. But there's also the Stovetop by Tin Can Knits.
Oh, gorgeous.
Which is cable-y textured goodness.
I don't know if it'll show up though.
I know, I don't know either. So I'm also debating, there was another one in here that I was thinking about. And I just totally lost which one it was. That's okay. But I think, this one, Windshield by Nina Talika.
Yeah, Talika or Talika.
And I think that'll show up a little bit better than maybe all the cables will in the stovetop.
I do think that.
So those are what I'm debating, and I have to wind that up tonight before I leave.
Okay.
Well, do you want to talk about our advent calendars?
Yes, at least days 1 and 2 that I have already opened. Because I'm going to do 3 on Vlogmas.
Oh, we're doing Vlogmas. You can see day 1 and day 2 here. They're also on the channel. Mom's doing odd days. I'm doing even days. It'll depend on what goes on that day, whether or not you have bits and bobs from the day or you just get advent calendar opening.
Yes.
And it'll also depend on if you get it on Instagram or YouTube, because I'm not, I mean, I'm pretty good with YouTube, but I'm also, like, mostly doing a lot of one-take drag and drops.
Right.
You know, the editing thing. The new iMovie is not what I know, and I have missed a few updates, so I don't really have the time to relearn it just yet.
It's getting a little less crazy.
A little less crazy, yeah.
Okay, so I also have an advent calendar from Bluebell, right?
Bluebell.
Only I got blue-faced Leicester, I believe.
And I got a British, just general British wools. It's Targhee. I got Targhee. Let's see. Mine are British wool, Texel, Shropshire, and Suffolk, all spun in Yorkshire. And mine are 5 grams. And yours
mine
are 10?
So, but we don't have names on them.
No.
But this is a beautiful deep. Look at that blue. Look
at that
blue. It's so
beautiful.
It is gorgeous. And actually, it's not bad.
Yours is a bit softer than, I think BFL is a little bit softer than the British wools. This is a bit more hardy.
That is an outside sweater.
So I'm thinking maybe mitts, and I'll line it with something.
Then
so this is my day one. It's a beautiful like denim blue gray.
My day 2 is like your day 1.
Yeah.
Only mine is soft.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't like it. The texture, it's interesting. I like kind of that woolly feel sometimes.
Yeah, it's woolly.
Yeah.
And tweedy.
Yeah. It's very natural feeling.
Yes. So I love
Sorry for all the crinkling.
Love this.
Everything is still in the numbered bags. So my day 2 is this beautiful gray.
That is gorgeous.
It is. And then I opened number 3 earlier because it's not my day to do Vlogmas, so I can open it. So I opened it, and it's this beautiful lilac color. Periwinkle lilac? I don't know. It's a blue. It's a blue purple.
It's showing up really nicely.
Yeah.
There. It's a little more purpley in person.
Yeah. So those are wonderful. Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a really good way to buy Christmas presents. One for me, one for her.
Yeah. It works out really well for us.
And I like these better than the opal that I got last year.
Well, and these are from an indie dyer, and not that the opal isn't lovely.
On the floor. So
but
these are the opals, and there may be 20 grams in them. So, they're a lot. I honestly, maybe only 10, because I don't think there's a whole lot more yarn in here than there is in here. There's no information on those labels.
No, but it says that it's 15 grams.
15 grams.
So there's 5 more grams in this than there is in that.
All right. Not a whole lot. And
well, that's an indie dyer. This is a very personal advent calendar.
Yes. So I'm really pleased. I mean, I've done the opal twice.
Oh, and I figured out what we can get Cassie for holidays.
Oh, good. Well, she has that one advent calendar.
The one, but she was saying she might actually want to get a menorah for this holiday season.
Oh, okay.
And I said if we find one, I think, because I'm going to see her next week.
Right. So you have the advent calendar with you?
Yes, I do.
Good.
It's in my apartment.
Okay.
I was going to see maybe if we wanted to chip in if she decides she finds one she likes.
That sounds
I thought that would be lovely.
I think that sounds good.
Considering, I guess it was when she moved, I guess when we were right out of college, you were like, you need a menorah. I remember you exactly telling her that, like, you need a menorah. And Cassie going, I don't need one yet right now. And you were like, you thought it was a brilliant idea. But yes, so.
That's a good idea.
I know. I've had that idea because she posted, she was thinking about doing that. And I was like, girl, we can look on Amazon.
Right. So, first this hat's going to go up, and then
yes.
I guess the socks, and then the sweater.
Yes, that's a good plan.
Oh, I know what you're saying. This is the next version of the other sweater.
Yes.
The one's up to the armhole.
Yes.
Yes.
That is what I meant.
So, Groovy Hues Fiber was really interested in this sweater. And she said that when the pattern goes up to let her know. And that maybe we can have some kind of coordination. So that would be fun.
Or something?
I don't know.
It would look really beautiful. She was really into yellows, it looked like, when we met her. And that would look really beautiful on not me or you in
right.
a yellow. In one of her yellows that she was doing.
Don't look generally very good on me or you.
Or me.
It has to be, you do really well with that pale.
No, you always tell me I can't wear the pale yellow. I want to wear the pale yellow.
I wear pale yellow.
But, like, I have to wear, like, not even the mustard. I need, like, highlighter yellow.
Ah, all right.
I need bright, in your face, no messing around color.
Yellow.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But that would look really good if you did a partnership or something, or just a...
Well, I
or
definitely
just
will
message her
these different patterns done. So, what I asked for Christmas, my mom wanted to know what to get for Christmas, and Anne, oh no, I just forgot her name.
Weaver?
No, it's not Anne Budd, not Anne Weaver. Oh darn.
Do we know what she's designed? What class is it? Is it on Interweave?
It's how to write a pattern. It's on Interweave.
Interweave. How to...
So anyway, there is a set of classes, and a book that she's written.
Kate Atherley?
Yes, sorry. Kate Atherley, not Anne Atherley. Kate Atherley. Has a set of classes and a book that she's written. So I said, I want that for Christmas. And so that's what I'm getting for Christmas. My mom said, go ahead and order it. So I did.
She's very good at that. She really likes it when we get our own gifts and then she just pays us back for them.
Yes.
Which makes it really easy.
So I'm going to be doing the class on how to write a pattern so that other people can understand it, not just me. And hopefully... you all will understand it too. And, if you don't, you're going to leave me notes in the Ravelry group and I'll get back to you on it. So I'm really kind of excited about this.
New endeavor?
New venture.
I did it again.
What?
So this sweater, you have a set of 1/1 cables and then you have 2/1 cables. And I always get in a groove of doing the 1/1s and then manage to... split a 2/1. It's okay. I've become very good at noticing when I do it and immediately fixing it.
It's
good. Just frustrating.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so that class is going to be great.
It will be.
So,
and I think it'll be very helpful.
Yeah.
Very, very helpful.
So we've been talking a lot recently about our sewing and how we want to make our winter coats.
I was going to bring that up, but you know what? We went off... Your father and I went off to the boat this afternoon, which I did take a little bit of film for the Vlogmas, maybe all of 30 seconds, but so you can see where I was sitting on the boat under the cover. So anyway, that'll be up. So we went there, and I didn't get a chance to move the fabric up because I think what I want to do as I'm looking around this room, I want to take and clear a couple shelves to be able to put fabric. Up on the shelves and get some of the fabric kind of identified and going in the right direction here. So I'm going to do that. In fact, I can see that top shelf with now only has blank paper on it. It would be a good shelf.
Well, I was going to ask you if I could co-opt a shelf since all of my sewing is here right now because you have a better table and a better... floor to plan out all of the sewing. So what I did yesterday afternoon...
Oh, this was a riot.
To prep, because...
We came in from the dental office, and there is this on the floor.
So I didn't bring my fabric up, because it's in a big bag, and... Yeah. So...
And the yarn is taking over this room.
Yeah, the yarn is taking over this room. So I have 4.5 yards of 60-inch fabric, which I also figured out that they don't have any more of it at Mood, or at least online. So
okay.
I can't buy more of it. It's this beautiful pink plaid.
It really is pretty.
I keep on in my head thinking it's purple. No, it's fuchsia. Like,
it's like my coat.
It is. It is like we're gonna coordinate
so well.
It's gonna be great.
So well.
I sent a picture to my boyfriend. He was like, "You keep saying purple when you talk about this," and I go, "I know, but it's pink." And he goes, "I know it's pink. I don't think of this when I think of you." And I was like, "I know, but it's like a fuchsia pink. It's like, it's not pink." And he's like, "It's pretty pink." And I'm like, "Oh, hush."
Hush now.
So,
just hush now.
When I bought the fabric 2 years ago, I also bought this 1960s Simplicity pattern.
Oh, you did?
I did. I can't find it.
Oh.
So, we then, in the last few months, bought coat patterns. Because I kind of want a different coat than what I have right now. Just to change it up. So what I really like... So I picked... Essentially, I have 2 other patterns that we also bought. But this is very similar to the coat I currently have. We have this, which is a little different. And then we have the Yaya Han, little Japanese girl, Lolita pattern, which I really like the D pattern for. I don't like those sleeves at all. But I like the straight sleeves. I don't like the puffy sleeves. So I laid out that D pattern, and I would need 3 more yards of fabric to do it.
Oh.
Yeah. So my thought...
Yes.
So then, this was before I remembered I could look up what this pattern was. Because from my mind, I kept on trying to picture what this pattern was. So then I looked this up, and I saw, oh, okay, it's a double-breasted coat with a small shawl collar. And it's essentially a full, it's a gathered skirt. So it's the pieces... So it's a straight piece that is just gathered, and then for the front and the side backs, and then it's a piece for the back, or, 2 straight pieces for the back, and then 2 side fronts. So it's mostly just a gathered full skirt.
Right.
And I realized that I have a heavy wool. I have a heavy wool suiting for this coat. It's quite substantial.
Yes.
So I don't think that it would hold that type of skirt.
I think this would be pretty.
I think this would be pretty, but I think so I have 4.5 yards, as I said. So I looked at all my patterns.
Yes.
And I could do either this with or without the godettes. Godets. Sorry, English. Can I do this one? Coat A.
I thought you said you didn't
60.
have enough for this.
No, I don't have enough for the D, for the long one. But I can do the shorter one, which I think would look better in that fabric. A little.
You're gonna be cold. You're used to a long coat.
I know, but I don't think I have enough fabric for a long coat. I have enough fabric. We could make B, this B calls for my size, 3 7/8. So we could co-opt this and just make it honestly, we could just make them as long as possible.
Yes.
To fit the fabric. Because B or C on here, B or C on here takes 4 1/4 fabric. So this would be a little bit harder, but that might also take into the fact that it has the puffy sleeves.
I'm sure it does.
So we could essentially just do D and modify the length of the skirt as short or as long as I can make it.
Right.
But my only problem with this pattern is this mandarin. You can't really see it here, but it is a mandarin collar.
Oh.
So I'm thinking maybe we can put this collar on it.
Very nice.
Or I get a coordinating pink or black and do that do that collar on that.
Pretty.
I think we need to sit on it maybe for another week and think on it. Because then my other question was going to be, should we do... Well, I don't think I can do the Godettes. Godets, I'm sorry. So the Godets call for another 1 1/8 yard. I don't think I can do that in the same fabric. And I don't... Because that makes it more of a circle than an A-line.
Right.
But I think it's still pretty circle-y if you look at the images. Like, those are still pretty... Those are pretty A-line-y A-lines. Because I don't know... Because this is very similar to my current coat.
Yes, it is.
The one positive about all these patterns, they have pockets built in.
Yes, I don't have to make pockets.
We don't have to do welted pockets this time.
Create pockets.
No, I might make them bigger than they are stated in here. But we don't have to do it this time. Yeah, that's like my only concern is the collar on this. And because I'm used to a double-breasted coat, it might be colder. Or I just get heavier lining.
Well, you could do that.
Since I have to buy the lining anyways. So yeah, let us know either down below or in the Ravelry group your opinions. As I said, this is going to be something that happens this year, meaning within the next 4 months.
Yep.
And no, I'm not going to get rid of my current coat. My current coat just might be...
Well, it's wearing out.
It's wearing out, but I don't want to, like, get rid of it. It's not unusable.
It's not unusable. It may not be the best for work because it's wearing out.
Right. But I might instead try and not put back, but re-embroider part of it.
You could do that.
With the machine.
It'll
look a little different in those spots, but yes, it's wearing out, and the lining isn't as fluffy as it. Lining isn't fluffy, but it's 7 years old.
Yeah.
At the end of this month, it'll be 7 years. So.
Yeah, it wore well.
It did. Again, which is why I'm thinking maybe obviously making a new one this year, but also doing a different style so that in case I have to go to a super formal event, I don't necessarily want to, for work, I don't necessarily want to wear a pink coat.
Right.
But I think maybe next weekend, well, depending on, maybe after rehearsal, we can come back and take a look, because I want to see maybe if we can take these sleeves and put them on that Oscar de la Renta for you. Because I think you would, because the sleeves on that Oscar de la Renta are like the puffy ones.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't think we want that. But I think the Oscar de la Renta is like the perfect coat for you. Yeah. Minus those giant Edwardian sleeves.
Yeah.
Or you
Although these sleeves, the sleeves on that one are huge, though.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But I thought of that while I was doing all this. So that has been what I've been working on. And then we're just going to do another and then. So we all know how I like to cross stitch when I have time. Right, which I have none of. I'm cute.
Now
I
what?
am. So the people who did the postcard stitch along and the famous women stitch along.
What are they doing now?
Next year is Legendary Creatures Alphabet.
Oh my gosh.
It's an alphabet of legendary creatures. And it's 10% off until the 15th. And they're actual kits. Which has the linen that they got, the specially colored linen and all of the colors available. I'm tempted. I'm really tempted, even though I have no time. And
Did you finish the women?
No. But they released all of it, and it's beautiful. And
is it?
Yes, it's really pretty. Let me see if I can see anyone. Can I pull it up here? Oh. I went to go pull up a new tab, and I closed the freaking thing, because I'm
clever that way.
So clever. Let me log in. Oh, it auto logs in. Oh, And then today I'm just all of the spoilering. Not spoilering, but all of the discussions. So, downloadable products. Famous women in history.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So the last two are Malala and Menchu, who is Rigoberta Menchu, a political activist from Guatemala.
Wow, now does that come in a kit too?
They sold out of those kits.
Ah.
And that's why I made my own.
I see.
I also wasn't a super fan of the purple background, which is why my background is that, like, bluey gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty.
Yeah. So, I am being taunted by the fact that this kit is available. I don't know when I would do it. Like, I don't know why I'm so drawn to it, but I am.
It looks like fun.
I know.
I know help. I'm like Kristy Glass.
No, you're the worst. I love you, but you're the worst. And then I discovered today, so when I lost my iPad, I was really upset because I had all these patterns in Knit Companion already started, and I was really worried about losing my place. So I opened up Knit Companion on the new iPad after I had reinstalled it from the iCloud backup. We're gonna watch this happen because this is what happened. All my projects are still there.
Oh, look at that!
All my projects. So my Pincha, it still has all of the counts on the side. It's really not showing up well.
Well, that's fine.
But there, it has all the counts on the side, and my tailspin, which I was really worried about, has the counts, and I'm just so happy. I know it's something kind of silly to be so excited about, but when you lose something that has, where you are in some of your knitting patterns, it's a little disconcerting.
Very much so.
So yeah, that's all of our exciting news for the week. It's been a very exciting week, or at least 48 hours.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
And you were going to say?
I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh well.
I'm sorry. So I think it's time to weave in our ends?
Just about. I'm waiting for this hat to kind of turn down. I may have to
cut down on the segments.
This is why you knit a couple samples before you put out a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Although this is wackadoodle too, so
we'll see.
And I don't have that many inches on it yet. It should though. It should start turning into a hat.
It should.
Because I'm not increasing anymore.
Okay. It should start soon then. It'll start
turning down.
Yeah.
So yes, we should weave in our ends. I'll do Vlogmas number 3 and see what my yarn is for day 3. And that'll be just about it. So everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to weave in those ends, and we'll see you next week.
And we'll talk to you on Ravelry.
Bye. Bye.